Picture this. It's payday. Your account just got hit. Numbers look good. Rich for about 11 minutes. Then, somehow, 3 days later, you open your banking app and think, where did it go? And the worst part? You can't even explain it. You didn't buy anything crazy. No big purchases. No emergencies. It just disappeared. And your brain immediately goes to the same conclusion it always goes to. I'm just bad with money. But here's what nobody tells you. You're not bad with money. Your brain is running a program that was never designed to build wealth. And until you understand that program, it doesn't matter how much you earn. The money will always disappear. Because here's the truth that most financial advice completely ignores. Being broke isn't always a math problem. For millions of people, it's a psychology problem. And psychology doesn't get fixed with a budget spreadsheet. My name is Jack. If you're someone who feels stuck financially no matter what you try, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Because today, we're going deep into the psychology behind why you're always broke, and exactly what to do about it. Most people think being broke means not having enough income, so they chase more income. They get the raise, they work the extra hours, they pick up the side hustle, and then nothing changes. Because the problem was never the income. The problem is what happens inside your brain the moment money arrives. Here's what I mean. Research from behavioral economics shows something surprising. When people receive money, any amount, the brain doesn't immediately go into rational planning mode. It goes into relief mode first. That relief triggers a release of dopamine, the same chemical your brain releases when you eat something good or get a notification. And dopamine has one goal. It wants more of that feeling. So your brain starts scanning. What can I buy to extend this feeling? What can I do to feel this relief again? This is called the arrival fallacy of money. The moment money arrives, your brain starts planning how to spend it, not how to keep it, not how to grow it, how to spend it. And this happens completely below your conscious awareness. You think you're making rational choices. You're not. Your brain already decided. Now let's talk about the 3 psychological traps that are keeping you broke. And I promise you, at least one of these is going to hit uncomfortably close to home. Trap 1. Emotional spending. Here's a statistic that should stop you cold. According to a study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology, over 75% of impulse purchases are driven by emotion, not logic, not need, not planning, emotion. Stress, boredom, frustration, loneliness, celebration, every single one of these emotional states triggers spending behavior. Think about your own life for a second. You have a rough day at work. On the way home, you stop somewhere you didn't plan to. You order food you didn't need. You buy something online at 11 p.m. for no real reason. That's not weakness. That's your brain using money as an emotional regulation tool. Psychologists call this emotional dysregulation spending. Your brain doesn't know how to process the uncomfortable emotion, so it reaches for the fastest relief available, comparison. And in modern life, spending money is the fastest relief available. The problem? It works for about 20 minutes. Then the emotion comes back, and now you also have less money. This is the cycle that keeps most people broke. Not laziness, not stupidity. An emotional loop the brain keeps running on autopilot. Trap 2. The social comparison trap. How many times have you spent money, not because you wanted something, but because someone else had it? A coworker gets a new car. Suddenly your car feels like a problem. A friend posts a vacation. Suddenly your life feels incomplete. Someone in your neighborhood upgrades their house. Suddenly yours feels embarrassing. This is called social comparison theory. Research from Princeton University shows that humans are hardwired to evaluate themselves relative to others, not relative to their own goals. Your brain doesn't ask, do I need this? It asks, do the people around me have this? And in 2024, this has become catastrophically worse because social media means you're no longer comparing yourself to your neighborhood. You're comparing yourself to the top 1% of everyone's highlight reel every single day. Research from the American Psychological Association found that heavy social media users spend significantly more money trying to match perceived lifestyles, even when they know those lifestyles aren't real. You see someone's vacation on Instagram. Your brain doesn't register, this is a curated moment. It registers, I am behind. And behind feels dangerous. So you spend to catch up to something that was never real. Trap 3. Future self disconnection. Scientists at Stanford University ran a study where they showed people their own face, aged by 30 years. Then they asked those people to make financial decisions. The people who saw their aged face saved significantly more money. Why? Because when we imagine our future self, our brain treats that person like stranger, not like us. And we don't sacrifice for strangers. So when you choose spending today over saving for tomorrow, your brain isn't being irrational. It's choosing you, the real, present person, over a stranger you've never met. This is called future self disconnection, and it explains why people know they should save, but don't. Why people know they should invest, but don't. The future version of you doesn't feel real enough to sacrifice for. Now here's the part most financial videos skip completely. Knowing these traps isn't enough, because your brain doesn't care that you know. The program keeps running, the emotions keep coming, the comparisons keep happening. The future still feels distant. So what actually works? Let me give you 3 solutions that are backed by real psychology, not willpower, not discipline, systems. Solution 1, build an emotional spending circuit breaker. The goal isn't to stop feeling emotions. That's impossible. The goal is to create a gap between the emotion and the spending. Here's the exact rule that works. When you feel the urge to spend, set a 24-hour rule for anything under $50 and a 72-hour rule for anything over $50. Research shows that over 80% of impulse purchases feel unnecessary after just 24 hours. You're not banning spending, you're creating a delay, and that delay gives your rational brain time to catch up with your emotional brain. One more tool. Create what psychologists call a friction account. Move your spending money into a separate account that takes one extra step to access. Studies show that even one additional step reduces impulse spending by up to 30%. Friction is your friend. The less automatic spending feels, the less you do it. Solution 2, redefine your comparison circle. You cannot stop your brain from comparing, but you can choose what it compares to. Here's the honest truth about social media. Every account you follow is a vote for what your brain considers normal. If you follow people showing off luxury cars, expensive vacations, and designer clothes, your brain will decide that is the standard, and you will spend to reach that standard, even when you can't afford it, even when it's fake. So here's what you do. Unfollow every account that makes you feel behind. Not because you're weak, because your brain is wired to compare, and you get to control the inputs. Then, follow accounts that normalize saving, investing, and building quietly. Research shows that social environment is the single biggest predictor of financial behavior. Not income, not education, who you're around, and what you consume daily. Change what your eyes see every day, and your spending instincts will shift within weeks, not months, weeks. Solution 3, make your future self real. Remember the Stanford study? The people who saw their aged face saved more money, because their future self stopped feeling like a stranger. You need to do the same thing, without the lab equipment. Here's exactly how. Every month, write one letter to your future self. 5 years from now. Be specific. Tell them what you're building, what sacrifices you're making for them right now, what you want them to have that you don't have today. This sounds too simple. It's not. Research from the Journal of Marketing Research shows that people who regularly visualize their future financial self make measurably better financial decisions, automatically, without trying harder, without more discipline, just because the future finally feels personal. You're not trying to be disciplined. You're trying to make the sacrifice feel like it's for you, not a stranger. Because when the future feels like you protect it. And here's the real reason most people stay broke forever. It's not income. It's not opportunity. It's not intelligence. It's that they keep trying to solve a psychology problem with a math solution. They make budgets that don't stick. They set savings goals they abandon. They read financial advice that makes perfect logical sense and change nothing. Because the brain doesn't run on logic. It runs on emotion, identity, habit, and social pressure. And once you understand that, the entire game changes. You stop fighting yourself. You start designing systems that work with your psychology instead of against it. Build the friction, change the comparison, make the future real. Because the version of you that's financially free isn't smarter than you, isn't more disciplined than you, just understood one thing you didn't. The broke pattern lives in the brain, and the brain can be rewired, starting today. If this changed how you think about money, hit subscribe and comment one word. The one word that describes your relationship with money right now. Because that word, that's exactly where the work begins.